we have a guy who called our goal, Tim, against Algeria, the one and only Ian Darke.
That's the first time I've ever heard you say our goal. That just made me feel 10 feet tall.
We're going to grade the season for some of our prominent players.
I feel like this is a dunk contest. Like, if I start too high, you know,
can't do it. I think he hasn't scored since December or something. And I'm like, well, this is like a D. Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. Volkswagen has long been a supporter of soccer in America and has proudly been a partner of U.S. Soccer for over 5 years.
Welcome into Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. LD, steaming in. I'm steaming in with a hot take.
Okay.
I don't even know if it's a take. This weekend, we always talk to each other. What do we do this weekend? Here's what I did. I was in California for something, and then I flew. So, University of Tennessee women's soccer played.
Go Vols.
Played West Virginia in Morgantown. So, good luck getting from anywhere in America to Morgantown, West Virginia, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, if you do a little geography lesson, you like fly into Pittsburgh, right?
Oh, right. And then you drive
stay
south.
the night.
Yeah.
I drove up, got a coffee, drove an hour in the morning, right, to campus, watched the game, drove an hour back. Cool. I stayed the night in Pittsburgh, but I didn't realize the NFL draft was going on. And so I was fascinated. Here's why I was fascinated. Like, day one, everyone gets excited. There's like hundreds of thousands of people, LD, right? And
they said there were 300,000 people there.
Yeah. And you're a fantasy football guy, right? So I'm going
Oh, yeah.
So I'm watching this, right? And I'm like, whoa, this is a lot of people to get excited about, like a 19-year-old kid who like might save your franchise, right? And then, so like day one, I gave everybody a pass. Day three, round whatever it was, the end, I don't even know how many rounds. The end of round 2 or something. Roger Goodell has his private jet has already taken off and landed like 3 days ago. They're wheeling people out to announce like the Los Angeles Rams 850th pick. This place still has like hundreds of thousands of people cheering.
That's insane, dude.
And I'm thinking, this is an offense. You just selected an offensive tackle from Utah with the 850th pick, and people are going crazy. And I was thinking to myself, NFL
is king, dude.
It's
king.
I was thinking, what in the heck is going on? And then I go to the airport. I mean, people have like, they've got like a Steelers hard hat and a Penguins jersey. And I'm just like, this is wild. Shout out to Pittsburgh, by the way. Anyway, that was my weekend.
By the way, it's 6 a.m., so if I sound and look terrible, that's why.
Yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah. You know, I was watching that draft too, by the way. And when they said on the thing, they said I was like vaguely listening, and they said, 100,000 people here, blank. And I said, 100,000 people? There's no way. And then they said, 300,000 people. And I said, that's impossible. How do they even, like, it blew my mind.
Question.
I mean, that's like 7 concert venues.
I know. Let's start a trend. Remind me, does MLS still have a draft? No, right? Yes, they do.
Right. It's not like it's just like you're at home and you call in your pick.
Don Garber.
It's not a whole thing.
Don Garber, you've been on the show. Let's get this show live at the MLS draft. We're bringing the MLS draft back. I don't know where we're going to do it. Let's do it in New York. Let's do it in Times Square. Our producers are like, what in the heck is Tim talking about? We're doing a live draft, and we're going to get, I don't know. Let's get like 2,000 people.
We're going to get 1,000 people.
Come on. We're doing giveaways. Don Garber said we're doing giveaways. Let's go. We're bringing this back. We're bringing it back.
Speaking of Don, I saw Don yesterday. I was in LA.
Oh, right.
For the Kobe Jones statue unveiling.
Statue looks amazing, by the way.
Hey, you know this, right? So when you get married, you don't fully like get to enjoy it because there's so much going on. Right?
Is that the reason you don't enjoy it?
You're just stressed. Well, you're just stressed, and like you got to say hi to everyone, all this stuff, right? I enjoyed Kobe's so much more than my own. Like, I just sat there and like listening to people talk about him, and the people who showed. I mean, like your guy Robin Fraser flew in this morning from Toronto. Don Garber flew in that morning.
That's so cool, man.
It was awesome, dude.
Kobe
it was
deserves
so much fun. He totally deserves it. I am so happy for him.
And they nailed
congrats to Kobe.
Congrats, Kobe. The hair is amazing.
Dude,
he's got like his hair flying up.
It's so cool. It's
job.
really cool. They did an amazing job. All right, guys, welcome in. Please, as always, follow us on social media at Unfiltered Soccer. Subscribe to the show, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you get your pods. And then make sure you leave a rating. I haven't even checked those. Do people still leave ratings? Yeah, they do. All right. Review the show. I think we're well rated, Tim.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Okay. And you can email Jordan at feedback@Unfiltered Soccer. Little bonus piece of news. So later in the show, we have just one of my favorite humans. Guy who called our goal, Tim, against Algeria, the one and only Ian Darke. We have an amazing interview with him. So that'll be a lot of fun. And he'll share some stories and then talk about this summer. It's going to be awesome.
This is a good day. That's the first time I've ever heard you say our goal. That just made me feel 10 feet tall. Thank you. Sure. Thanks for including me.
I'll let that one go. Okay, let's start out USMNT on USLNT. So we're going to do a little thing. We're going to grade the club season for some of our prominent players. So this is obviously all subjective. You guys tell us your thoughts at the end and who we got right, wrong, and all that. But we wanted to just sort of figure out where are guys at in their club seasons, because we see them a little bit with the national team here and there, but how have they been with their club? And I bet you Pochettino does obviously something similar as he's going into it. So I'm going to start with a name, Timmy. You tell me your grade. If we want to expound upon it, we can. If not, we can move on. But let's start with your guy at Leeds United, Brendan Aronson.
Yeah. I feel like this is a dunk contest. Like if I start too high, you know,
can't do it. Yeah. Can't up it.
My initial thought is a B plus, and then I'm like, oh, that's a bit. I feel like I'm shortchanging him. 4 goals, 5 assists. No one else on Leeds has more than three assists.
He's leading a Premier League team in assists.
I know.
That swayed my decision. I was like, wow.
And he started every Premier League match since December. Like, also for a kid who, we've said this on the show. They were asking for him to be out of the team.
That's
like,
right.
Leeds fans weren't having him, by the way. Weren't having him. But I've seen some really good stuff from him recently. Yeah, I feel like B plus is really a bit low. What do you got?
I have an A minus. And right. The only reason it's not an A is they've struggled a little bit near the bottom. He didn't the beginning of the season. He wasn't always in the team. Now he's always in the team, and he's been very, very good. So that I could have lived with an A, but I think an A minus was fair. But he's had a very, very good year. Okay, let's move on to Tyler Adams.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you go. We're gonna flip flop here.
I have Tyler as a B. When he plays, like when he's fit and healthy, he plays, and he usually plays well. The problem is he missed 2 months with the MCL tear. He missed a few weeks with his hamstring, so he just hasn't always been on the field. And their teams had a good year, solid year. So I have him as a solid B.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, B minus for all the reasons you said. Tyler, if you're listening, you're actually an A. You're just a guy who I love, and I think because of the injuries and it's been stop-start. So if we're grading that season, but him on the whole, got zero doubts about him. And the guy's a gamer, so love him. But just based on injuries and timeout. But yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Monaco and Flo.
Yep.
Flo Balogun.
A plus.
Yeah.
He's a striker. He's got 18 goals, 4 assists, 5 goals in 10 Champions League games. So
it's incredible.
All day long.
I didn't realize he had 18 goals.
All day long.
He's going to hit 20 by the end. 20. That's really good.
When you're a striker in any league season or any season, you're getting 20. Whether that's all.
And in that league, like they're not one of the teams that just dominates and scores all the time or whatever. He's 4th in the league in scoring. I mean, he's A plus. Okay, John, my turn. Johnny Cardoso. So this one's a tough one. I mean, I'm taking out the national team stuff because he hasn't been around or hasn't played well for the national team. He basically, as I follow him and watch, he's basically in one game, and then I think the guy Koke, who's the captain, plays the next game. So they basically like flip-flop those two. Yeah. So I have him as a B. I think he's been solid. He's been good at times. He has missed time due to injury. He's played a bunch of games. He hasn't started a ton. He kind of starts half and plays in most of them. So I have him as a solid B.
Yeah. Probably B minus, other than the fact that like it's It's La Liga. It's a giant team. Like that's not sort of like, again, I don't want to shortchange him, right? Like he's playing essentially flip-flopping and getting on the field every other week. Like that's still a big deal. He's not like a Mickey Mouse club. So,
Yeah, it's a good point.
you
But
know,
you can only judge him on,
sure.
you know,
No, that's right.
if
That's
he
right.
was playing at a bottom third team, he'd play every minute of every game, right?
Right.
We
Right.
might have him higher, but
Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Okay, I mean, if this was the biggest slam dunk, easiest one ever,
Yeah.
Weston McKennie,
Yeah. A plus.
how many pluses can you give?
Yeah. A plus. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
He's
he
crushing
has
it. He's
not put a
crushing it at
foot wrong
Juventus.
all year.
Yeah.
He's played all over the field, every position.
Mhm.
He's literally, we say this kind of jokingly, but he's literally the first name on the team sheet. Literally. Yeah. Okay. Aiden Morris. So this one, I know you probably don't follow the championship. You only watch high class, world class football. But I follow the championship a lot. Aiden's been fantastic. I mean, really good. He's played 41 times for Borough this season. Just
Mhm.
doing that is hard. You know that league, how hard it is. They will be in the playoff. And I mean, if he gets them promoted, he's absolutely an A plus. I think he's probably close to an A plus anyway, but he's an A. Easily an A for me.
He's an A plus. I mean, to be fit. By the way, league's actually way harder than the Premier
I say
League.
it's the hardest in the world.
Like physicality.
Yeah.
You play more games. It's like to be fit and available every week, and then to be informed in order to like be picked. Yeah, I mean, A plus for me. And if they get promoted, sheesh. Okay, yeah, easy.
All right, Ricardo Pepi.
Mm.
Oof, this was hard for me.
I don't know. This I'm giving a lot of minuses. A B minus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I know he was out with the injury. Obviously, injuries are part of the game. Like I get that. But he does in that league in the Eredivisie, he does score.
He scores all the time. That's why it was hard for me. It's just we just don't see him that often.
Yeah. I'm also wondering, like, it's a what if, but that move to Fulham sort of went through. Fulham are desperate for a striker. They, anyway, whatever. That's not his issue at the moment. What do you have?
I have him as a B because when he plays while he scores, but he's just not on the field. Andrew put his goal contributions per 90 minutes. This is wild. In the Champions League, 2.96 per 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a higher one in the Champions League. That's insane.
Yeah.
So when he's on the field, he produces. He just can't stay on the field. So let's hope he stays on the field. Okay, Christian Pulisic. This is wild. We have this recency bias in sports and in life. And so I'm just thinking about, like, since I think he hasn't scored since December or something. And I'm like, well, this is like a D. This part of the season's been a D. And then you forget, Tim. Remember how good he was in the beginning of the year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my! I mean, he was definitely the best player in that league.
Yep.
I would unequivocally.
Yeah.
And it was like every week it was another goal, another 2 goals, an assist, another assist. They win, they win. And he was lights out. So consistency matters a lot to me. It does, because over the course of a season, you have to be consistent. I think he played 60 minutes this weekend, wasn't fantastic, and then got subbed out. So I have him as a C plus. That could change if he gets into some form over the last few weeks, but it's just been too hot and cold.
Yeah. That's a tough one. I was just looking at the stats here. Like, from the start of the season till January 1, 10 goals, 3 assists. And then from that point till right now, no goals, 1 assist. It's, overall, it's not. Yeah, I look at the season and sort of think, like, it's probably too late for him to get 15 goals, especially now, but, like, it's still not a terrible season, other than the fact that it started off like he was on a heater. Yeah. What'd you give? A C?
C plus.
Yeah, it's probably right. Probably right. I'll tell you what, he's gonna hate us. He already doesn't like us. We're giving him C's.
Well, I mean,
it's all right.
Is what
it happens.
Is.
Yeah, it happens.
It was interesting. His coach, Max Allegri, said the other day, he said Christian's very sensitive. He's a sensitive man, and his drought is hitting him harder. Yeah. He said he's also someone who struggles more with the physicality of duels and the lack of a center forward. Interesting. I was trying to think, Tim, he hasn't scored in 16 games. 16 games without scoring. And I was trying to think back in my career, like when I went 4 games without scoring, how it weighed on me. He's gone 16 games without
I
scoring,
think,
man.
but
That must just kill you.
the good news for our fans is he's saving them for the World Cup.
Let's hope so, man. And you know how it is, man. Just get one. He gets one, and it'll all come back. Gio.
Yep.
I have a D. Probably, I was probably being a little generous.
Yeah.
He hasn't played in a
hasn't played.
game for more than 22 minutes all season. So, all right.
Yeah. That's
another easy one, Chris Richards.
Yeah.
A plus.
A plus.
A plus plus plus.
Yeah, A plus. I mean, the guy's
he's a stud.
Stud.
What about Jedi? That's been interesting. I'm curious what your thoughts are on him.
Yeah.
He's played a lot more after he was injured.
Yeah. I mean, I think Fulham are being careful with him a little bit, which is great. You know, I think overall, I'm sort of grading him on being injury free more than anything. Like his production is way down, and you know, going back a season and a half, he was probably one of the best left backs in the Premier League, and he was on Liverpool's radar. Obviously, you know, with the injuries, so I'm sort of not going to grade Anthony Robinson on production, which is probably unfair to the rest of the list, but I'm more grading him on like, is he match fit? And when he's match fit, is he, you know, getting himself through games? Look, he's just not going to be bombing down the left side, whipping balls in at a regular clip like he was. He's just not. And that's okay. If he's finishing the game and he's playing sort of consistent ball, then like I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'd give him based on that, B minus maybe?
I had a B. I think that's fair.
I'll give him a lot of B minus.
Tanner Tessman. So he started the season well, was playing a lot, and then it seems like he's lost his starting spot a little bit. Admittedly, I don't follow a ton of that league, so I have him as a B, and I think he's firmly on the bubble, whether he's coming to the World Cup or not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Malik Tillman. So he does have 8 goals for Leverkusen. Did start the season well, and then I think, did they have a coaching change?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is what I always tell people, man. They're like, "Oh, I'm going to this club." Da, da, da. I'm like, "Okay, but what about the coach? Does the coach like you?" Coach loves me. Okay, are they struggling? Yeah, they're struggling. Well, you might want to think about that because that coach is gone, and then everything changes, right? So, and that's what's happened with him. He rarely starts games now, and I think he's probably looking to get out of the club.
Yeah,
right, and find somewhere where he can play.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like. But yeah, I don't mind. I don't hate that. I still think like at Leverkusen, big club, as you know, big club. 8 goals, first season there, coaching change. Yeah, I'm having that. What'd you give?
Yeah, I gave him a B.
Yeah, I mean,
it's probably a little generous, but it's kind of like Johnny Cardoso, right? Like if he's at Mönchengladbach, he's playing every week, and he's probably more productive. But and that might be a type of club where he ends up at next year.
Sure.
To be honest.
Well, I mean, yeah, he's had a good season, so
yeah,
don't see why not.
All right, couple more. Austin Trusty.
Yeah.
I do not follow the Scottish Premier League, but he's he has played a lot. He's been a sort of a mainstay there, especially.
You don't have to follow the whole league. Just follow.
That's true. That's true. But you want to like base it on some
3 teams.
Knowledge of the league, right?
I know.
I have him as an A- for his club. I think he's been solid. He's played a lot. Cameron Carter-Vickers went down, and he was already playing, but he's just now been a stalwart. So I think he's had a solid season. Again, another guy firmly on the bubble. Be really interesting to see what happens with the roster. Last one, easy one. Haji Wright.
Amazing.
17 goals.
A+, bro.
A+. He's been so good. He was named to the championship team of the season, we said.
That's so great.
And he helped his team get promoted. He's going to be playing in the Premier League, presumably next year.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I mean, I'm hoping they feel like they can spend their money other places and give him a proper good run out in the Premier League.
He
He deserves it.
Man. He does deserve it. All right, let us know what you guys think about the grading. I think we were pretty fair, but you guys will let us know.
Depends.
Were we too harsh, too generous? Email Jordan, feedback at Unfiltered Soccer. I'm sure there will be plenty of comments next week on that. Okay, want to remind people this Friday, we have a really cool bonus episode coming out. We're counting down the top 5 biggest question marks around the U.S. men's national team this summer. So these are big picture ideas, thoughts. What are the question marks? And then next week, big pod. We, Timmy, you and me, we got work to do.
Yeah, tell me.
Are predicting our 26-man World Cup squad. Who's in, who's out, who we disagree with on each other, etc. And by the way, this is going to, and I'm making an executive decision.
Okay.
It's going to be who we think will be there.
Yeah.
Not who should be there. Who we think Pochettino is going to pick. I was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, no, I want it to, needs to be who we think he is going to choose.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got homework, bud. I know you're busy, but you got
easy
homework.
money.
Easy money.
It's time for the Unfiltered Refresh, sponsored by Coors Light. Choose chill. Get Coors Light delivered. Go to CoorsLight.com/UFS. All right. This is an exciting one. Who chose chill this week, LD?
Very. A massive congratulations to Joe Scally. So Joe Scally is 23 years young. He became the youngest non-German player ever to reach 150 appearances in the Bundesliga. He's started 26 games this season. He's been a stalwart at Gladbach. When I was reading that, I thought, oh, maybe he's the youngest American to ever reach 150. He's the youngest non-German. Mm-hmm. And I just want to share, when I went to Leverkusen when I was 17, the number of Croatians, Turks, Argentinians, Brazilians, Eastern Europeans in the youth system is crazy. I mean, they are everywhere, and there are very few Americans. So by the time you end up making it to the first team, you're competing with lots and lots of these people. And he is the youngest non-German player ever to have 150 appearances. That is a phenomenal achievement. Yeah. It really, really is.
Yeah. And you sort of, when you look at the 2 best leagues in the world are the Premier League and the Bundesliga. Bundesliga probably tips sort of their development is probably better than any league in the world. Like any major league in the world. They can develop, and you were part of that youth system. They can develop players like nobody. So like it's not where they're just buying and selling players for fun. They're producing these young players.
That's a great point.
And they give these young players opportunities.
That's
so
right.
He's competing.
And especially, Tim, they give young German players or young, whatever, Eastern European. Sure. It's very hard as an American to break in like that and then solidify yourself. He is well on his way to another U.S. Soccer legend, Steve Cherundolo's type of career in Germany. And Joe Scally, massive congrats. Long may it continue.
Awesome.
Cheers to you, my friend.
Well done, Joe.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, as we talked about, in my opinion, the GOAT, the absolute GOAT of broadcasting, Ian Darke will join us right here on Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, presented by Volkswagen. The Unfiltered Soccer podcast is brought to you by Volkswagen. It's really easy to become a passenger in life.
Take control. Live life in the driver's seat. Learn more at VW.com.
Life. If we're not living it, what are we doing here?
Jump around. Jump up and get down. Jump.
So?
Let's go!
LD, MLS is back.
Yes, it is. And you know what that means? Saturdays are once again all about soccer.
Walmart is making Saturdays of soccer even more glorious with Walmart Saturday Showdown. From early practices to late night watch parties.
Yeah, Walmart and MLS bring every emotion of the beautiful game to Saturdays. Joy, nerves, excitement, and unforgettable golazos.
Walmart plays on Saturdays.
Who knew? This episode is brought to you by FanDuel. April is when things get real. Title races, knockout rounds, every match carrying a little more weight. There's no coasting right now. Every result matters. That's why I love this time of year. Club or country, there's always a match worth watching and something on the line. And if you're watching, you might as well get in on it with FanDuel. Because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $250 in bonus bets if you win. That's right, make a $5 bet, and if you win, you'll unlock $250 in bonus bets that you can use on goal scorer markets, match result, over-unders, same-game parlays, and much more. So as the pressure builds this month, make your move. Just visit fanduel.com/unfiltered to download the app and get started. All right, Timmy, it is my immense pleasure to welcome a man that I have worked with many, many times over the years now, and I will be working with again this summer. A man who was once quoted as saying, Landon Donovan is the best co-coms analyst I have ever worked with. And that is none other than Ian Darke. Ian, welcome to the show. You did say that, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah, a million times. I say that to all the co-commentators, though.
Yeah, I know. They all say the same thing.
Ian, good to have you. This
welcome.
is great.
Yeah,
Great
good
to have
good
you.
to talk to you both.
Exciting times coming this summer. But I do want to, because I'm not sure we've ever properly talked about this. Is it strange now for you? And we've talked about this a bit, but is it strange to have called goals that are iconic? And for US soccer, obviously, our Algeria goal was iconic, and then be working with some of the people or seeing some of the people that you call the goal,
Yeah.
or you called the goal of? Is that a weird dynamic?
It is kind of weird, yeah, but there's a lovely sort of symmetry about it for me to get to know the players or the guys I used to commentate on a little bit as human beings as well. And goodness me, you and I, Landon, spent about 6 hours every time getting to matches on the road in Germany. So we got to know each other a little bit. You even got to meet my daughter, I remember.
Yep.
So, yeah, looking back on that goal, it's amazing to think it was 16 years ago. But,
Right.
people still remind me about the goal. I mean, it was weird when it happened. I had no idea what I'd said. And it was only when I got back to the hotel and people said, "Oh, that was," all these local radio stations were ringing me up to talk about the goal, like I'd scored it. All I did was talk about it.
Ian, I'm curious in the moment, because you said you were speaking from the heart, you were speaking from the scenes that you were seeing, and in the moment you've called big games, big moments, big goals, big everything. In US soccer, that's probably one of the most iconic moments that we've ever had, and I just wonder now. It feels like, yeah, it was iconic, and do you ever know in the moment, or is it too immediate?
No, you should know in the moment as a commentator. You should have the editorial brain to know what a goal means, and that goal was, took the US, as you guys know better than me, from bottom of the group to top of the group, suddenly qualified and in the most dramatic circumstances. And it's a gift for a commentator, because you can go to 10 on the Richter scale with a goal like that. Nothing you say is going to be over the top. And I mean, I do think it was a bit of a light bulb moment, Landon's goal for soccer in the US. I think a lot of people who thought, well, this is all quite boring, nothing ever happens. And then that happened. And I think a lot of people thought, wow. And it was big news.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to know this too, Ian. And, now that Tim and I are both in this space, and, Tim on the desk a lot, but he also calls games during the Olympics and things like that. And I try to prepare as much as possible. You prepare more than we always do. Are you thinking consciously in the moment, if this happens, then not I will say this, but this is the reaction I might have, or if this peters out and it's 0-0 against Algeria, then this is the attitude and the tone I take. Do you think about that consciously, or are you sort of just living it in the moment? Because I live it in the moment, but I don't have to be prepared in the same way you do.
Well, I think you try to think maybe on a grand scale. Say you were doing the final, and Argentina win the World Cup, and at last Lionel
Mm.
Messi wins the World Cup. You might have a think then about the kind of things you might say in this situation. But
Mhm.
by and large, I think you've got to feel it. You've got to let the game tell you the story. You can over prepare matches, and I think that's the biggest mistake young commentators can make, that they
Mm.
do mountains and
Mm.
mountains of research about the game, and they're determined to show the audience how much research that they've done. Well,
Mm.
I do all the prep, but the best games, you probably only use 5% of that.
Mhm.
It may be that you wouldn't use any of the lines you've done on maybe 18 of the players, but you try to
Mm.
concentrate on the guys who are the story in the match, and hone in on them. So I think it's best if you do it that way. It's a 90-minute lib, sometimes 120 minutes,
Hmm.
sometimes even more with the shootout.
Yeah. I wanna keep on that theme, and I think for the people at home, it's just so you become accustomed to turning on the television, seeing the pictures, and hearing the voices, and the voices become so natural to you over the years.
Mhm.
But but preparing for a game is anything but natural, and I just sort of I want you to take our listeners inside a week, what that looks like. How many hours you're calling City Southampton this
Mm,
week, right? So
yeah.
how many hours in the week are you
Ooh.
using that's just dedicated to research? And then when you do that, how much of that is listening to manager sound, writing, statistics? How can you take us sort of inside the week?
Well, too many is the answer to that, Tim, to be honest with you. I mean,
I know.
how many hours are there between now and the kickoff? There's
Yeah.
always something you're worried you don't
Mhm.
know,
Mm.
when you're preparing the game. But like I say, I think you can over prepare it. So
Yeah.
I like to think in a way about in fairly broad brushstrokes. So yeah, okay, you say that game we're talking about this week is the FA Cup semi-final, Manchester City and Southampton. So I started today doing some things on Southampton. They're on a very big unbeaten run at the moment.
Mhm.
They've got a great chance of going up from the Championship. So I'm starting to look, who was the last team from from the second tier to win the FA Cup? That was 1980, West Ham United. Who were the last team to even get to
Mhm.
the final? When have there been huge upsets? What City's amazing record at Wembley? They've been there 23 times since Pep took over. That kind of thing. So
Jeez.
you're getting lines, and then I'm looking at players, and I found out today reading through Erling Haaland has never scored for Manchester City at Wembley in all the times they've been there. So
Oh,
there's
wow.
another line. That's the kind of thing that you may be just rooting around dig up. And I mean, I think the problem is, though, to cut right through this, it takes several hours to answer your
Mhm.
question, Tim. Too long, really, and it's
Yeah.
kind of sad, and we're in danger of becoming geeks. But you hope when you do the commentary that you're a good guest in somebody's living room, and
Yeah.
you're not piling all that stuff at
Yeah.
them, because
Yeah.
most of the time they're just not interested in that, and they're
Mm.
probably looking at the TV and saying, "What is this idiot? He needs to get a life." How does he know that? So you hope what you say, kind of people go, "Oh, that's quite interesting. I wouldn't have
Mm.
known that."
It's a
So
great line, "A guest in someone's living room," and that's the best. The
yeah,
best are like that, and that's you are the best. So that's brilliant. Thank
Yeah,
you.
you certainly do that. I think when I'm calling the game, the lens I go through it, and I'm curious you too, Ian. I'm trying to tell the audience something they wouldn't have seen with their eyes, or they wouldn't have noticed, right? And that's sort of the lens I'm always looking at it through. And the Erling Haaland stat is actually, I would go, wow, that's hard to believe that he has never scored at Wembley.
Mm.
I also wanted to ask how people, I think, don't realize how much we rely on a stats person, or the research that people do. Fox has dedicated people they hire for the whole tournament who send us
Ye-
notes and notes. So it helps the preparing. In the game, and I've never asked you this, but in the game, how much are you relying on that stats person to give you some, if you didn't know about Erling Haaland and they say that's the first time he's scored in 24 times at Wembley, How much are you relying on that? Because for me, that helps a lot. I can ask that person quickly, and they can get me some info that I think the audience really appreciates.
Well, the stats guys do a great job. I mean, it's amazing. If you think that we come out with odd lines or great lines sometimes, often we're relying on those fellas being as good as they are at their job.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I work with Dave Ray, who will be with us at the World Cup, and he's got reams of stuff about every player that's going to be on that pitch, even if it's Curacao, playing Germany, which is a game you and I are going to be covering in Houston. I think that's our second assignment at the World Cup, and you're starting with a blank page there. But I think to answer your question, Landon, I mean, you talked about your role. I always think the role of you and Tim, for that matter, as well, if you're on a game, is I can watch 1,000 football matches, but I'll never know as much as you do about football. You played it at the top level, and you see things that I would never see because you're that good. And if you can bring those insights, I think it's that's what I think that the viewers love to hear that, to hear those kind of perceptions from top players.
Well, let's move into this World Cup, Ian. So with the travel and the heat, right, which is real. We can't say it's not real. However, the counter to that is with the 48-team World Cup, you now basically have a week in between games. And as you know, it's in the past, it was 4 or 5 days max in between games. And now you're going to get 6 or 7 days. So I'm curious to see, and I don't know if you have thoughts on this, but generally speaking, in the past, let's take Brazil, who had or France, very, very deep roster. If they were playing a team that they pretty much knew they're going to beat, they would rotate the squad and play different guys because you want to rest some guys after 4 or 5 days of rest only. Now, with a week between the games, I'm curious to see how teams approach this because it might just be put the best players on the field no matter what, even though there is travel and heat. Do you think that's accurate?
I don't know. I think the coaches are probably best to tell you that, whether they would just want to keep the team together for the chemistry and to build the momentum as the tournament goes on, or you might be right. They might look at a certain fixture and say, well, we can probably rotate quite a lot and still get the points we need from this particular assignment. I'm not sure, but I mean, I remember, I'm old enough to remember the 1994 World Cup in the USA and how hot that was. And now we've got this thing, haven't we, where the kickoffs could be, or the game can be delayed because there's a storm in the area. So, I mean, I hope we don't get too much of that, because that's going to be chaos, isn't it?
It'd be chaos for us trying to
It
travel
will be.
to our next game.
We're missing flights. So are the teams.
Yeah, exactly.
Although they've got their own
Right.
luxury planes.
Yes, of course. Ian, one team that I don't think will be feeling the heat or the travel is the U.S. team. I think they're used to it. It's sort of normal to us. Can you give us your thoughts on we're in this bubble in America? We're sort of we buy into everything because we're so excited about the team. But on the outside, and you live abroad, and you're in England. What's sort of the perception of the U.S. team and what sort of run they could go on?
Yeah, I mean, there's a big, obviously, focus on the U.S. team in the USA, but as yet, I don't think anybody's really talking about that team in Europe. Not from this range, but that's okay too. But if you look at that squad, I know there's been a lot of criticism, and it's not been an easy run. And the 5-2 defeat against Belgium, they lose to Portugal as well. I mean, my impression, I watched both of those games, is they're too easy to play against at the moment. It's too easy to score against them. There are too many chances being created. But you look at the squad, and there's enough players there playing in good clubs and with plenty of talent. And I think if they can mix in that that grit and fight and character that the old squads used to have, they might be able to surprise one or two people. And if those two games, I hope they were learning exercises for Pochettino and the squad. But I do worry. I mean, I love Tim Ream. He's been a fantastic footballer in the Premier League, and particularly for Fulham. But he's 38 now. Can they play Tim Ream in a World Cup? What do you think?
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, it doesn't matter what we think. It looks like he's going to play, and so it goes to what you said about England. what you said about France, there's a lot of solid attacking players in the U.S. team. There's a lot of elite attacking players in the other squads I just talked about. Defensively, when you play against real teams, and we saw it against Belgium and Portugal, can you handle that? And can you handle it by just sort of rolling the ball out and saying, okay, you attack and then we'll attack. You attack and they're just better, right?
Mhm.
And so there has to be that grit and that sort of nastiness, or else it feels like we can't beat those. Can we beat Australia and Paraguay playing that way? Of course. But can you beat the bigger countries? I don't think so.
Well, that's the first job, and I think they can get through the group and do well. I think they can beat Paraguay first time up. I think they can beat Australia. Not sure about Turkey. That makes the group a bit tougher, them having qualified.
Right.
But then you never know how the momentum changes. You guys know this better than me, being you've been part of it.
Yeah.
Runs like that at World Cups. The feel may be different, and they may feed off the kind of not frenzy, but the amount
energy.
of momentum that they're getting from the American public, and it'll be like nothing they've probably ever experienced before. So who knows how the story could develop if they get it right in those first couple of games.
Right. Ian, last question for me, and you've been very gracious with your time and very, very excited for this summer, and we're going to see a lot of each other, which you won't be too happy about, but I will.
You're threatening
I'm
to take a lot of money off me on the golf course. I'm glad you
Yes,
think
I
we
am.
might even have time to get to a golf course.
We won't have time, but it's going to be really hot. You'll struggle on the back nine. And
Well,
don't
on the
bring
front
your own
nine
clubs.
too. But look, you've
Okay. Bring your wallet, but don't bring your clubs. Okay, last question for me. So when I go into certain games, if I'm calling an MLS game, for example, or a game where I think the audience tuning in is sort of diehard soccer fans who know the game pretty intimately, I will call it a little bit differently, not completely differently, a little bit differently than I might a World Cup. And the reason is we will, let's pick a number. If there's 20 million people watching the first US game, 6, 7, 5 million of them will be pretty diehard soccer fans. They'll really understand the game. But a bunch of people, maybe as many as 5 or 10 million, will be tuning in like I tune into skiing in the Olympics. I don't really know what I'm watching, but I want to watch because I'm supporting the US team. So I won't dumb it down a lot, but I will a little bit change to make sure that I'm bringing people in and sort of educating that group too. Do you approach it that way, or do you sort of just call every game the same way?
I think that's a good point you make. There's more of a casual audience for something like the World
sure.
Cup. People who wouldn't normally watch the game will watch this. So I remember once a producer giving us some very good advice and said, if I'm sitting at home with a beer in Chicago and it's a game between the Czech Republic and Poland, make me interested in the game. Make me want to root for one of those teams. Get me involved in the game. So I think that's a good thing for us all to remember, to tell, and I think you do that by maybe telling some stories about that country, and like the story of Haiti and about maybe some of the players. I mean, I could tell you, if you go back to 2010, that Diego Forlan had scored this many goals, but more interesting to me was that his sister had been very ill and the family couldn't afford his medical bills. And he said, whatever I make as a footballer is going to pay your medical bills. And I thought that
Then you want to root for him.
that's a much more interesting thing to tell the viewers about him than the fact that he'd scored 7 goals in the last 12 games or something like that. So, things like that. And we hope we get through it somehow.
Brilliant. Well, listen, I'm gonna leave on this, Ian. Give us a winner. Who do you have?
I think if you put me in a corner, and I'd say Spain. I think Spain
Same.
or France. Yeah, I think. But hey, I've been wrong most times before.
No, I agree with you. Spain or France for me. I'd probably bet them against the field.
Well, Ian, thank you. This is very insightful. Our fans love hearing from you, listening to you. We will be listening. Well, I'll be listening to you right next to you in the stadium.
Sorry
Everyone
about
else will be
that.
listening on TV. Yeah.
You realize
But I
we've just
appreciate it.
we've just upset everybody in Brazil and Argentina and Colombia, Uruguay as well.
It's fine.
That's right. That's fine. They're used to it.
talking
Thank
to you
you,
both.
Ian. I look forward to it. Safe travels over the pond, and I will see you a lot this summer. Thank you.
Thanks,
pal.
Ian. Great to see you.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Thanks, Landon. Thank you.
It's stoppage time, sponsored by FanDuel. New customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Download the FanDuel Sportsbook app to get started. All right, great one this week. Manchester United, Liverpool, a classic derby in the Premier League. United in a good run of form. Liverpool also in a good run of form. Both teams should get into Champions League comfortably. They're 8 points clear. So a win for either team almost assuredly secures Champions League football next year, or maybe it does actually secure it. I think United are slightly better in the moment. Liverpool have had a good run of form, but I think United are a better team in the moment, and I think they win the game. Bruno Fernandes is heading into this summer's World Cup in fantastic form. It feels like every week he's on the score sheet, so I think he gets on the score sheet again. Both teams will score in the game, both high-powered offenses and not great defenses. I think it'll be a great first half. I anticipate it being tied at halftime 1-1. So United, Unfiltered Soccer, EPL, same game parlay this week. United to win the game 2-1. Bruno Fernandes to score or have an assist. I absolutely believe both teams score in this game, and I think the score will be 1-1 at halftime. Don't forget to check out the full list of Unfiltered Soccer's same-game parlays on our socials later this week. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will dive into your questions in the AT&T Fan Connection right here on Unfiltered Soccer with Landon and Tim, as always, presented by Volkswagen. This episode is brought to you by Airbnb.
LD, when I think about big tournaments, you think about unforgettable moments. You and I have been a part of that together.
Yeah.
That Algeria game in South Africa, 2010, we were incredible as a team. But at the end, I get the ball, I give it to you. You go down the field, you and Clint, shot, score. It's etched in my mind. And then I also just think about the memories after the game in the locker room, the elation, being completely emotionally drained, going back to the hotel and the resort and seeing our families. It's like, it's the stuff that dreams are made of. You can't pinch yourself enough in those moments. It was just so special to share that.
You're absolutely right, Timmy. And this summer, fans from around the world will travel to experience the biggest event in the history of the world, the FIFA World Cup 2026. You can be part of the excitement by opening your doors and hosting those fans in your home. If you've ever thought about hosting, this summer is a great time as we welcome FIFA World Cup fans.
Your home might be worth more than you think. Find out how much at airbnb.com/host.
So, Timmy, I was thinking about moments where you celebrate for a long time, right? It could be a goal, but that's not as big of a celebration as like a massive win or winning the Gold Cup or things like that. But the moment that I celebrated the longest was actually my first MLS Cup with San Jose. The feeling and like the emotion felt like it went forever because my first hug went to Joe Cannon, my roommate and our goalkeeper. You'll appreciate that, I know. And then just one by one, like the reality that you did something special for the first time is so, so amazing. And Coors Light is the most refreshing way to celebrate every goal this summer.
Yeah, Coors Light seems to be the only way to celebrate big moments with friends, whether it's a game or a concert or anything else. Any of those big moments, Coors Light is the beer for me. When the mountains turn blue, your beer is as cold as the Rockies.
Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/UFS, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Coors Light, more goals, more celebrations.
Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Beer. There's nothing better than feeling like someone has your back and that things are going to get done even without you having to ask. Like your crisp new jersey waiting for you in the locker room, or a perfectly set up wall for a free kick.
Yeah, as we on Unfiltered Soccer get ready for next summer, we know that very little in the beautiful game is guaranteed. But as we prepare to bring our unfiltered brand of nonstop soccer coverage, it's good to know AT&T has your back with the AT&T Guarantee.
Staying connected matters. That's why in the rare event of a network outage, AT&T will proactively credit you for a full day of service. That's the AT&T Guarantee.
Learn more at att.com/guarantee. AT&T, connecting changes everything.
Credit for fiber downtime lasting 20 minutes or more, or a wireless downtime lasting 60 minutes or more caused by a single incident impacting 10 or more towers. Must be connected to impacted towers at onset of outage. Restrictions and exclusions apply. See att.com/guarantee for full details. It's time for the Fan Connection presented by AT&T. Every week we invite you, the listener, to connect with us by submitting your questions. At AT&T, connecting changes everything. And on USMNT, our connections with you will help grow the game. Welcome back in. It's time now for the AT&T Fan Connection. Jordan, hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Hi.
How's it going?
Yeah,
Hello. All right, what do you got, Jer?
This is from Brian via email. And Brian, this wanted to ask this question of Tim Howard. And he said, if Timo Werner amasses the most goal contributions in MLS this season, would you consider getting as a big fan of yours, autograph tattooed on you?
That's amazing.
Definitely not getting. Is it Justin?
Come on,
Brian.
Tim.
Brian.
You
Justin.
wouldn't even
Brian,
know it.
I'm not.
You have
yeah.
so many tats.
I'm not getting your autograph tattooed, but
You
I
get
will
Timo
eat
Werner's?
crow. I should get Timo Werner. I should get Timo's autograph. If he doesn't even have to have the most goal contributions. I think he's got like 4 and 4 in all comps, and he hasn't played a ton. Like there's a good chance he gets 10 and 10. And
How about this?
Go on.
If he gets most goal contributions per 90, you get one of two tattoos: a crow eating. For you eating? No, are you eating crow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you eating a crow. That's pretty dark.
Mm-hmm.
Or your face with a big egg on it.
I good answers. I have the answer, and I'm going on.
Answers.
I'm going on record.
Here we
Ready?
go. Mhm.
Here we go. This is how I operate. So anybody who thinks I sidestep things, do one. Timo Werner, all comps. If you score 10 goals, 10 assists in all comps, the season finishes and there's a 10 and a 10, I will get tattooed on my ass the best
Banjo.
drawing that one of our fans, any listener right now, sends into the show of a cow and someone swinging a banjo. I will get that tattooed on my ass. So, Timo, you do your job.
Timo,
Our fans and listeners, do your job
I'm
creatively.
begging you
Draw some stuff,
you
send it
to
in,
get on a heater.
and I'll do mine. You see how this works, JR? It's very simple.
I need
You
a
heard it
new
here.
job because now I'm going to get flooded in the inbox with pictures of cows and banjos.
You know what's going to happen?
Oh, Lord.
We're going to get, JR, we're going to get an amazing assortment of pictures, and I'm going to love one of them so much that I'm going to be in the stands with a Timo Werner jersey on, like cheering him on. Please score another brace so we can like get 10 and 10. Anyway, there we go.
Okay,
God.
good. It's on record. We
It's
have
on
the receipt.
This one is from Cameron via email, and I'm sorry, I'm realizing all of my smoke this week is for Tim. Recently, Tim said that Spurs have the best squad by a trillion miles over other relegation zone clubs. But then he included my Leeds United squad, and I took umbrage. Does this include unavailable Spurs players, or are we just talking wage bills? Because this Leeds squad are unbeaten versus Liverpool, Chelsea, and Manchester United this season. I wanted to see if you can see through the Manchester United colored glasses and give Daniel. God, this is so funny. Give Daniel Farke, right? Is that how you say it? Farke. Daniel Farke, thank you. Props for this Leeds season. He has changed tactics in the right spots, seems to have kept Leeds up, semi-final of the FA Cup, and we've been competitive in all but 2 matches. Our goal differential is almost entirely from the misfortune of playing Arsenal twice. Just wanted to give the man his flowers.
Before you answer, I'm going to go get a bag of popcorn, bring it back. I'm just going to sit by and enjoy this.
Who is that again? I want to address them by name.
Cameron.
There is a Manchester United song that starts out "We all hate Leeds scum," and it's sort of accurate. So there's that part of it. It's a good song actually, but beyond that, you make some brilliant points. That being said, my point is the same. If you give me injuries, I don't know. If you just give me a list of the Tottenham squad, it's a trillion times better, talent-wise, than Leeds or Forest. And by the way, Forest is battering teams of recent times. And West Ham, it's a better squad. Yes, because they've spent more money. So it's not about the money, necessarily. I'm saying man for man, player for player. it's a better squad. Are they underperforming? Are they fragile? Are they injured? Yes. What I said was the Tottenham Hotspur squad is far better than any of the teams around them, including Leeds. What a place. Have you ever been to Leeds? Don't go. How's that for smoke? Put that in your pipe and smoke it, Cam.
Mhm. By the way, it's not even a debate. The Tottenham
That's what I'm
squad
saying.
is
That's all
a
I was saying.
billion miles
That's
better
all-
than the
thank
Leeds
you.
squad. Now, Leeds are a better team.
Leeds are flying
right now.
Yeah.
They're a better team for sure. But
Yeah.
there's no
I
argument
didn't
there.
say. Yeah, you
You
heard
didn't
what I
say they're
said.
a better
No,
team. You said
no,
the squad.
Squad.
Mhm.
That's all. And
I
Daniel
do-
Farke has done brilliantly.
Absolutely.
I do think it's so interesting how an entire fan base for a club can make or break how other people think about your club. Because
So
we were
funny.
just talking this weekend about if Millwall gets themselves promoted, I don't want that at all because I
No, we
don't.
want that. No,
Yeah.
I do.
no, definitely not. Can I tell you a funny lead story? Like,
No, you
But-
don't. I don't believe that for a
I
second. that
do.
you
I love
really
the
want
chaos.
that.
That's so fun. I
No.
want all those.
No. That's not good chaos. That is
I
you're
want
putting
all
a
those
lot of players in a
posh
bad
Chelsea
position.
fans and players to have to show up at Millwall on a Saturday night
No,
when it's
I don't.
pissing rain.
No, listen. Can I tell you a funny lead story? So, like, I love Manchester United. I obviously identify with Everton because I played there 10 years, but I played 3 years at United. With NBC, we did a game at like Christmas, Boxing Day or something. During that period at Ellen Road at Leeds, they were giving me all sorts of hell. Honestly, I was like, get me out of this place, man. What's wrong with you people?
Okay, that's it for me. If you would like to have your question featured, if you would like to send some smoke Landon's way so we can even things out, I would appreciate
Just
that.
a nice guy. Everyone just likes me.
That's how it
Feedback at
works.
Unfiltered Soccer.
I can't wait to see these pictures that they send in for the tattoo.
I know.
It's giving me a lot of ideas now. Too,
I'm
about
buzzing. I'm
things.
buzzing
Okay,
for
good.
it.
I'm stressed
Send 'em
about
in.
it. I'm leaving. I'm out of here.
All right, amazing show. Thank you so much, Ian. God, I love that, man. Cannot wait to spend the summer working together with Ian, calling the World Cup games. Appreciate all of you guys as always. Remember, subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, everywhere you get your pods. Follow the show on all our social media platforms at Unfiltered Soccer. Thank you so much, as always, to our presenting sponsor, VW, our fan connection sponsor, AT&T, and our stoppage time sponsor, FanDuel.
LD, and for my part, I want to thank Ian Darke, absolute gentleman and legend of the sport, and appreciate everything you've done for us and obviously the insight. I know our listeners are going to be buzzing for it. Thanks also to our Unfiltered Refresh sponsor, Coors Light, and our additional sponsors, Airbnb and Walmart. Have an amazing week. We'll be back next Tuesday with another edition of Unfiltered Soccer.